Okay, this is the volume of cylinders, cones, and spheres worksheet. We'll cover the first 6 questions. Number 1, we want to find the volume of this cylinder. The first thing is to recognize that the 18 is the diameter, which goes from one end of the circle to the other end of the circle. That means the radius, which goes from the end of the circle to the center, is half of 18. That is 9. So the radius is 9. Now the other thing is you want to flip this cylinder on its bottom side. So then the height becomes this 5 right here. The radius is 9. Formula for volume is pi times the radius squared times h, the height. Radius is 9, so that's pi times 9 squared times the height, which is 5. 9 squared is 81, and then 81 times 5 is 405. So now we have to calculate 405 times pi. We'll put that in the calculator using the pi button, and you get 1272.35, and the units are in feet cubed. So the volume is 1272.35 feet cubed. Number 2, we want to find the volume of this cylinder. The formula is volume is pi times r squared times h. R, of course, is the radius. In this problem, the radius is 3, and the height is 10. So the volume is pi times 3 squared times 10. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 10 is 90. So we have our volume is 90 pi. Putting this in the calculator and using the pi button, we get 282.74, and that would be centimeters cubed. So that's the answer to number 2. Okay, here's question number 3. We have a cone. The first thing is to recognize that 4 is the diameter of the circle, which means the radius is half of 4, which is 2. Now let's turn the cone right side up. So we have the circle at the bottom, radius is 2, and the height is 7. The formula for the volume of a cone is pi times the radius squared times the height h, all divided by 3. So that's pi times 2 squared times 7 divided by 3. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 7 is 28. And then we put this in the calculator. And I have a screenshot of my calculator, and you can see that I just typed in pi times 28 divided by 3, and it gives me this decimal answer here. We round that to the nearest hundredth, and that comes out to be 29.32. So the volume of the cone is approximately 29.32 meters cubed. And here's question number 4. We have a cone again, and the volume of a cone is pi times the radius squared times the height h, all divided by 3. That's pi times 8 squared, because 8 is the radius, times 16, which is the height, all divided by 3. That's 64 is 8 squared. So we have pi times 64 times 16, all divided by 3. And then we can just put all of this in the calculator at one time. And here's a screenshot of my calculator. So I did pi times 64 times 16 divided by 3, and we get our final answer. Rounding that to the nearest hundredth, we get 1072.33. So that's 1072.33, and that is miles cubed. All right, here's number 5. We have a sphere. The radius of that sphere is 9. The formula for the volume of a sphere is volume is 4/3 times pi times the radius raised to the third power, or radius cubed. So that's 4/3 times pi times 9 cubed, since 9 is the radius. We can put that directly into the calculator, pretty much as it is written. So this is the calculator screen. I typed in 4 divided by 3 times the pi, and then times 9 to the third power. And I got this number. So rounded to the nearest hundredth would be 3053.63. And it's meters to the third power. So that is our answer for number 5. And here's number 6. We have a sphere again. This time the radius is 1.9. And the volume is 4/3 times pi times the radius to the third power. Substitute 1.9 for the radius. We have 4/3 times pi times 1.9 to the third power. Here's your calculator screen. That's 4 divided by 3 times the pi times 1.9 to the third. And we get approximately 28.73 when we round it to the nearest hundredth.